So Forsys Metal, 100% owned uranium deposit, the Narasa uranium project. You've got two projects within that, Valencia and Namibia. Could you tell us a bit about those projects, where they're at stage-wise? Interested, too, to get some context in terms of infrastructure and where you're at.
Yeah. So, as you've said, the Narasa project consists of the two ore bodies. The one is called Valencia, that's our more advanced deposit, and the original deposit that was discovered. That deposit is fully licensed with a mining license and environmental clearance, and we pretty much, once the market is ready, we can start mining on that property. The Namibia deposit is about 4.5 kilometers from the main Valencia deposit. That's still covered by an exclusive prospecting license, and we are going to do some infill drilling on that, and that deposit we will most likely process, once the main Valencia deposit has been exhausted over a period of 10 years or so. So we continue developing and advancing the Namibia as well, and we'll hopefully convert that within the next year or two into also a full-blown mining license to be fully permitted.
Can you talk a bit about that permitting? Because, maybe we can talk more about Namibia as a mining jurisdiction, but you're one of 3 permitted mining projects in Namibia. And this, I'm interested in the significance of that, because I think a lot of people think you've got your permits and that's a point of arrival. My sense is that the permitting process in Namibia means, you have to use it or lose it and keep progressing this. And so it's actually a part of your momentum, I suppose.
Yes, exactly. So we're very fortunate in Namibia that our, licensing processes are not as tedious as, Canada or any other, real advanced Western jurisdiction. But like you said, once you've been given a permit, government sort of expects of you to now, move the project forward, bring it into production so that, the country can benefit, for the job creation and the forex earnings and those type of things. Obviously, the uranium market is still evolving. All 3, the projects that's currently licensed in Namibia is well advanced. And I think we are all just, at a point where we continue to optimize and really get ready for once the market is there, because we all want to go and lock in higher long-term pricing, to support our funding and, economic results of the projects. So that's in essence what we are doing. I mean, Namibia is an excellent jurisdiction. We've been uranium mining there for 45 years or more, well understood by, the government, the communities around us. It's an accepted practice, and we're very fortunate. And I think Namibia's got the potential, to bring, some of the new mines that we so desperately need in the uranium industry, bring those into production in a very quick way, over the next 2 to 3 years.
You mentioned optimization in the course of what you were just saying. Could you talk a bit about how you're bringing efficiencies to your operations? So you've moved from tank leaching to heap leaching, and I ask that question because I think it's interesting from an investor perspective to see companies that are focused on these kind of operational gains, especially at early stages, and having that mindset. I think is how capital is being deployed matters, and maybe talk about other opportunities you have for efficiency gains in the context of your operations.
Yeah, look, I mean, when you still have a whiteboard, and you can develop your sort of deposits and the economics of your projects, there's normally a tendency in the industry just to look back what someone else has done and copy paste that. It's a quick and easy way to get a study done and things like that. But technology has really moved in the last 10 years. Heap leaching has been one of those, and the tendency now in all low-grade type of deposits, being a gold, copper, uranium, there's a big shift, to move towards that. And we've just followed that process. We've seen, we did a trade-off study, and we've seen a substantial reduction, in capex and operating costs, just moving to that. The other exciting thing that we've started to explore, late last year is ore sorting technology. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, computing capacity was just not where it is today, to take multiple analyzers on a continuous basis and scan the rocks and take those readings and process them and, sort each and every rock into an accept or a reject or a middling or whatever. And today the technology exists that you can have very high tonnage processing at a very efficient, operation. So we started to do initial work, and over the next 2 or 3 months, we're going to do some laboratory scale work on that, on our specific ore, because it's very specific ore calibrated. And then if all of that turns out to what we believe it's going to be, we'll move into, piloting phase on site where we will actually demonstrate the technology. And that could give us, a 15, 20% upgrade, in our feed to the heap leach. And it really moves the cost curve, substantially. So I think it's important that, we try and get our cost base as low as possible, so the day that the market develops and we can lock in long-term prices, that we've got that GP there, when it's locked in. Yeah.
I mean, you alluded a bit to this in your answer, but maybe we could just finish up on 2025 and the duration of 2025. 2024 was sort of a building year. 2025 is a real news flow rich year. You've just closed $5 million financing. Insiders, board, management, all taking part at a significant level. Exclusively, if I'm not mistaken, yes. Which shows that kind of commitment and skin in the game. Maybe talk through, just to carry us out in terms of the news flow, the rate of news flow that we're going to hear over this coming year, and how Forsys is going to advance.
Yeah. So we've been extensively doing a drilling campaign, since June last year. We've started to release some of that results around the Valencia deposit. We are planning to try and finish up that drilling program, which includes infill and resource extension drilling. And hopefully we will be able to update our mineral resource estimate for Valencia, by the end of Q2, early Q3. Then we'll move the drilling teams over to the Namibia deposit. That's currently still an inferred resource. So we need to do, a bit of infill drilling to be able to bump that up to indicated. But we also know there's extension potential on Namibia itself. We'll explore that. And there's 1 or 2 anomalies, that we've seen from a radiometric that's never been drilled or really tested, So maybe we've got some good upside potential there. So I think we're going to try and push to get the Namibia resource also updated before Christmas this year. And then both of these mineral resources together will feed into our pre-feasibility study, that we are working on. And, once we've done all of this technology trade-off studies and we know exactly, what we want to do and how we want to do it, we'll fit all of that into a study and then produce that.
So this time next year we sit down, pre-feasibility study on the table?
Well, we hope so. I mean, we are not in a hurry because we're also waiting for the market, to develop, in our favor. And we are all here because we're so bullish about the market. Yes, we've got some tailwinds at the moment that's been keeping us down. But the reality is, there's going to be a massive gap between supply and demand in the near future. And that reality will hit the market. And we just want to make sure that we're on the lowest cost curve, lowest capital budget, and lock in the prices, with off-takers. And, we're ready to push the green button to execute the project. So we're preparing ourselves for that. Is that going to happen in 9 months or 12 months or 18? We don't know. I mean, but that's our strategy, very clear.
You've got it in your sights.
Yeah.